Taiwan's Recon Marines. Let's go.
Taiwan's Marine Amphibious Recon Unit are trained to approach from the ocean, gather intelligence, and hit the enemy hard.
我们的任务特性就是我们是属于第一线的侦察部队，我们就像是整个部队的第一线的眼睛。
They can operate on sea, air, and land.
专门对从事一些比较高价值的一个战略目标来进行一个攻击。
It looks very comparable to U.S. Marine Corps, the training, the concept. I'm sure we all share things. For you guys that know are in Taiwan, put in the comments if you ever cross-trained with U.S. Marines. I never did, but it looks very comparable just starting out here.
But their main role is to clear the way for large amphibious assaults.
乘坐的一个载具一般是橡皮艇，都是利用动力操作，就是外加舷外机，然后再配合你的 GPS 来做海上的导航，来到达你要的一个位置。
This unique unit was born from conflict. As the Chinese Civil War was brought to an end in 1949, the nationalist forces of the Republic of China retreated to Taiwan. A special elite force was needed to keep both Taiwan's shores safe and have the ability to probe into China's coastline. In 1955, the Amphibious Reconnaissance Unit was born. The first batch of 22 frogmen passed the selection and formed Taiwan's first Marine Amphibious Recon Unit.
我是民国44年，1955年参加第一次。
There's been several units that were born in 1955, to include the New Zealand SAS. I'm not sure what happened at that point. You figure it's after the Korean War. What changed? If you guys know, put that in the comments.
2期侦察连第1期的受训，最主要的我很喜欢冒险性还有危险性的这种挑战，和普通的兵种不一样。2期侦察连是第一线的部队，随时要接受任务。
Modeled after the U.S. Navy SEALs, these soldiers quickly earned the nickname Frogmen.
Well, it couldn't have been modeled after the SEALs because it was formed before the SEALs, right? So the SEALs 62, UDT before that, but they weren't really trained to do the same thing that SEALs are today. So I think this guy's wrong. If I'm incorrect, roast me in the comments, but give me some facts.
Today, there are only 400 Recon Marines, a small elite corps. Being constantly on call is part of this unit's DNA. To become part of this unit, recruits first have to pass a 10-week selection course designed to test their physical and psychological limits.
I see that exercise a lot. I saw it in the Thai Marine training. I don't know what it's called, like some sort of bridge, but it looks terrible. Have you guys ever done that? Put that in the comments.
It all starts here. Zoing Camp, Kaohsiung, southern Taiwan. It's already week 9 of the course. 33 men have started and only 15 remain. This class of recruits are already serving soldiers in the Marine Corps.
义务役的弟兄，他们受完训之后，在单位服役的时间并不会很久，所以相对的，我们觉得志愿役的士官兵啊，他可以长期的在这个单位服役，所以我们现在都几乎朝向全志愿役的。
That's a pretty significant attrition rate. You figure there are already Marines in the Taiwanese Marine Corps. They try out for selection to become Recon Marines. So I would say an over 50% drop rate is pretty heavy.
方面来招训。
Recruit Soon Jiajun has a legacy to follow.
自己的父亲也是以前也是这个转堂班出来的，就是期待结束的那时候，就是比方说等于自己是一个合格的蛙人了，更像自己父亲一点。
And some just want to be the best of the best.
国军我觉得最有战力的应该就是2期。
Those that survive will earn the coveted Marines Amphibious Reconnaissance Unit badge.
两栖征收大队的背章，潜水员的部分表示我们具备了两栖征收作战的能力。那降落伞的部分是我们具备的空降的作战能力。
Next, they have to pass a swimming test before embarking on Hell Week, the final and hardest week of training. These men have already completed 9 weeks of training, and they are about to begin their final swimming test.
That's interesting. So they do Hell Week at the end. So they go through all this. I'm assuming they do some prep for the swimming, but there's a final swimming test. So the method in which they do it is different than the method in which we do it, right? I mean, in BUD/S, the Hell Week is towards the beginning, the first month. There's a Hell Week in almost all of these SF-type trainings, whether it be in the Taiwanese Marine Corps, the Navy SEALs, or the U.S. Marine Corps' Recon. There's something very similar. Just a deal where you're out there for days on end, miserable, seeing if you're going to break, right?
First, recruits have to perform a set of warming exercises known as the Frogmen Workout.
我们在任务前原本做的蛙操会有26。
Now, how many U.S. troops could do that? I don't think most guys are that flexible. I mean, that's some pretty significant flexing of the joint. You have guys in this, if you look, they're all pretty much similar build and body type, which I think is helpful. You go in the U.S. Marine Corps, you'll have a guy that's 6'5", a guy that's 5'6", and all body types in between. So these guys, it looks, they're very similar in the way the build set is. And I think that does help in training, because some guys are made to be strong as an ox, some guys are made to be fast as a deer.
我们会取前段10节让他们做暖身、跪卧挺腹、腿部运动，几乎都是强迫拉筋的动作，不至于在水上会抽筋。
In combat, these men could spend hours in water. Their bodies need to be as highly tuned as professional gymnasts, keeping the joints and muscles stretched and flexible.
I think the U.S. military does a very job of keeping flexibility stuff. You guys tell me if that's changed, but I think that is a lost area where these guys look like they're doing a good job at it. And the exercises they're doing look very on point. You want guys that are gymnast types, right? Quick moving, flexible, strong, but you don't want them big. That makes a lot of sense what they're doing here.
But recruit Xu Changheng's body isn't doing what he wants it to. This is already his second try at the course.
上次受训也是因为受伤、伤势的问题退训，那这一次的话，又面临到一样的问题，所以我现在的想法是更坚决。
And you'll see some guys that just break easy, right? That's just what happens. Like this guy hurt his foot again, probably went and healed it up. Now he's hurt again. Unfortunately, that's the reality of this. They're like a really fine-tuned machine, like having a Ferrari, but it may break a lot when you just need a Chevy to get the job done, or a Honda, right?
After the warm-up, it's time for a 50-meter swim. But the recruits will have their feet and hands tied.
算是一种逃脱术。对，如果说被俘虏了，手被绑起来，我们会让学生达到可以自己逃脱的一种程度。
The water is 20 degrees.
游泳池的水很冰，对，很冰冷，因为这边是地下水抽起来的。
First up is recruit Gao Inche. And to make things more difficult, they can't touch the bottom.
毕竟，如果在渡河或者是在大海里，是不可能会有可以让它点地的，所以基本上是尽量不要点地，这是最好的。这个顶多再吸第二口气，它就不行。
And they won't get to breathe more than twice, and they can't touch the bottom. This is a lot harder than you think. Some guys really sink. Guys that float tend to do a little better, but it's way harder than it looks unless you got that technique down. Something with that dolphin kick, right?
打起来。埋口埋太久了。其实，在游的那个过程中，因为它只有脚的在运用，所以 我们在有那个感觉，就是会少一份的那种动力。
The cold is beginning to affect the recruits as they start the next challenge. Swimming the same 50 meters underwater without coming up for air.
从事作战的时候，如果有遇到有水的地形，我们可能要进行这个无声的渗透，或者是要脱逃，就必须要用到平潜。
Now, 50 meters is somewhat the standard for all of these, whether it's U.S. Marine Corps or this. I don't know why it's 50. And the big thing here is technique, right? You don't want to overexert. You want to glide as much as possible in the water because you will run out of energy. Between the water pushing down on you and your lungs compressing and you're not touching the bottom. So technique is really key to these things. And I'm sure they've prepped them up for it.
Recruits will have to hold their breath for about 40 seconds to make it to the end of the pool. The recruits are struggling to make it.
你在干什么啊？
有的学生他会求好心切，他平不了，他会硬要去平，那他就会缺氧，在水底下他会直接昏迷，或者是说。水积到肺里面，会造成我们说一个疾病的一个发生。
Next up is Xu Jiangheng.
只要关于脚步的动作的话
so 40 seconds is not long, but when you're swimming, putting out, it becomes long. So a lot of guys ask what to do to train for this stuff. Well, the better cardiovascular fitness you're in, obviously that helps. But when you start lacking oxygen, your body's hunting for it, you don't have it, and your brain gets wonky, there's no fixing for that. So practice in the water, holding your breath, swimming underwater when you're out of breath. That's going to help, but there is just a certain knack for this. If you don't have it mentally, you're not going to make it through.
都会影响到那个疼痛。
He takes his last breath and pushes off. Recruit Xu Jiangheng, this test will be his last.
是的，很可惜呢，你这些只差15米而已了。
And with it, his dream of becoming a frogman. After 9 weeks training, only 14 men are left, and it's time to really test what these soldiers are made of. The last week is the week they have been dreading. Hell Week. This exercise. Modeled on the U.S. Navy SEALs training, this week includes a series of 21 separate tests. It's the final challenge that stands between them and their frogman badge.
So how this differs time-wise, let's compare it to the SEALs, right? You take someone out of boot camp in the Navy, which is not a lot of military training with respect to combative training. You send them to SEAL qualification, or you send them to BUDS, right? These guys are already Marines. So they went through typical infantry training. They probably were in the Fleet Marine Corps. So, of course, their training to get to become a Recon Marine is going to be less because they're already trained up enough where they understand weapons tactics. They understand basic stuff, right?
是整个训期的最后一周，也就是说第10周的这个训练。这个最主要的目的就是希望借由这个恶劣的环境下，学员经过了这6天5夜的训练之后，还能够克服他身心上面的状况。走。
If you guys want part 2 and 3 of this, put it in the comments and I'll continue.
The night before Hell Week starts, instructors burn incense, a ceremony to ask the gods for protection.
就希望说不要让自己受伤。
Yeah, even if you're not religious, whatever religion that is, you want all the help you can get. You never know, right? It's like they say no one's an atheist in a foxhole. If they're Jewish and there's a priest that blesses them, it's Christian. No one cares, right? You just want any advantage you can get, because this type of thing, the concern is you get hurt. You know, at this point, they've made it 9 weeks, 10 weeks. They're already hard enough to do it, but they get tired, get disoriented, get hurt far more easily than they would have in, say, week 1 or 2.
对，因为听一些助教都说，如果受伤的话，就是可能就会比较难过。
天气越来越冷，本身比较怕冷。
It is a cold wake-up call.
Now, some guys will get cold where they can't control their shivering, right? They're shivering so hard, they can't do basic fine motor skill things. And that's where this makes a big difference. And you can't gauge who that's going to be. You can't control it, nor can you train for it.
From now on, they face challenge after challenge. First up, a 25-kilometer run.
我们大概在3个小时之内要完成25公里的长跑训练。
With an injured knee, recruit Leo Taiyu is under the gun.
Now, that's a pretty long way, a 25-kilometer run. And this guy with the injured knee, he's not going to make it. This is day 1. If your knee's injured, you're not sleeping, that thing's going to swell up. He'll be limping around. We'll see.
With continuous physical exercise, injuries are the main reason for recruits to drop out during Hell Week. And lower limb injuries are the most common. His knee joint is hurting, and he has to get in the ambulance. He hasn't finished the run, but instructors let him stay.
还是要撑，已经到克兰州了，还是要继续撑下去。
Now, why do people sing when they run in the military? Well, one reason is it takes your mind off the running. The second reason is if you can sing and run, the more you do it, the better cardiovascular shape you're going to be in. Because if you've ever been winded and you can't talk, well, this will take it out of you pretty quick. I think that's the secondary point that a lot of people miss.
跟大家一起结训。
They get 1 hour of rest. And then wake to bad news.
因为正好遇到33年来台湾最早遇到的寒流，然后在泼水那一侧很冷，非常冷。
Challenge. Paddle their rubber dinghies for a distance of 15 kilometers in 2 hours, and then march them back again.
这堂课的技巧就在于团队的合作、默契。
Now, question for you guys. Do all military say kill like that? Because I know in the Marine Corps we did, the U.S. Marine Corps. I don't know if it's something that's handed down from the Spartans. Put that in the comments.
Recruits are divided into 2 teams of 7. Each team has a leader at the back of the dinghy shouting directions. But once offshore, the sea becomes rough. Recruit Lin Yihang is the first to get seasick. But even with one member paddling slower, team number 2 has better teamwork and manages to stay ahead.
If you get seasick, there's nothing you can do to control it. Some people just get it and other people don't. I've never been seasick when it's rough, usually I don't get seasick. But I've seen guys get it when it's just rocking a little bit. And it's tough. You got to puke it out. And then you feel like crap the rest of the time, but at least you're done with the vomiting.
They are the first to arrive to the finish line.
要让艇员知道力道拉出来的话，身体自己可以感受到，就是在艇上可以感受到那个力量，就是艇往前的力量。
Now they will have to bring back their rubber dinghies to the camp. Over their head for 15 kilometers. Each of these rubber dinghies weighs more than 250 kilograms. Leadership is key to succeeding.
艇长在这个是领导者的角色，是这艘艇的灵魂人物，领导者控制这艘艇。
Yeah, you think about leadership, what's important? Teamwork, obviously, because if one guy's slacking, you end up carrying more weight. Then you get hurt because that guy was slacking. That's where that matters, right? And then on this kind of thing, you're already tired. Hopefully you didn't rest, because if you stop for an hour, you're going to just totally tighten up, start swelling up. So you just want to keep moving during these things. And I've been on some of these long exercises or training intervals where they're pushing you. And when you stop for a little bit, your feet swell up, your knees swell up, and sleep is no fun. Usually you can catch some sleep standing up in these things if you're first. That's the key. You come in first, usually you can get some sleep against the boat or against a tree or something.
The boat is heaviest at the front. The leader needs to keep it balanced, or some recruits could end up carrying double the weight of others.
That's where these guys all being similar build makes a big difference, right? Because even if you're in the short guy crew in Buds, you may be in the middle guy crew and still be short. If you get a bunch of short guys, you may be in a boat crew with a guy that's 6'2" and you're 5'9". So you can see how the weight would be disproportionately balanced. It just creates a problem. So these guys all look pretty much the same as far as height, weight, which makes a big difference. Makes it a little bit easier on the crew.
Recruits Sun Chiachun and Lia Taiyu have leg injuries. The team leader puts them at the back, hoping they will have less weight.
其中有一艇有人受伤，或者是不行，扣1分。那一艘艇只要超过5个人，就代表不合格。
And that guy you feel sorry for with the leg injury, but I can tell you what it does do. It pisses you off because you're already tired, you're putting out, you hurt, you're sore. You don't know the extent to this person's injury, but you do know you're having to carry more weight. And this is where guys tend to fall apart. If you look at the video I did on the Ranger training, you can see guys that are tired and they're complaining, and it becomes a big problem. If you guys ever experienced that, put that in the comments.
The hill is too much for recruit Lia Taiyu. His knee is swollen and in pain.
If you guys want part 2 and 3, put it in the comments. If you made it this far, I appreciate you. Thanks for watching.